Bro, I'm low-key faded, bro.
Highway?
What's this guy supposed to be, the ultimate badass?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about Micah Parsons, all right? Mainly the contract situation. It's time to get an update. Here we go. Serious cap mode time. Look, check this one out, the Lion, all right? I've had this one for a while. It is one of my favorite caps, actually. I am a fan of Micah Parsons, despite, I'm not a big fan of his podcast, this sort of thing. But as far as like on the field, man, the guy is an ultimate beast. He's just a game changer, game wrecker. So you hear people talking about the contract, Micah Parsons contract. Some people don't even know what the hell's going on. So let's break it down. What is going on with Micah Parsons contract? Take a look at this. All right, so this is his actual current contract as it is right now. The Cowboys do have him under the fifth-year option. The Cowboys picked that up. So he will play this year, despite whatever happens. If there is no contract, Cowboys have him under contract on the fifth-year club option. So he'll be making about $25 million, right? So that's where that's at. All right, he is getting paid pretty sizable money this year under the fifth-year option. So, could he hold out? He could do that, This is the Cowboys have a script, and they do this with every player. This will not be any different from Dak Prescott's contract, from CeeDee Lamb's contract, and now here we are with Micah Parsons, and we'll see this again with other future young guys here. Tyler Smith will go through the same issue. Deron Bland will go through this. So. This is nothing different. This is what they do. This is how they handle business. And I almost wonder if it's a hubris thing more than it is, taking care of the cap. Like, do they want to be known as, yeah, we pay the highest player. We pay the highest money for our star players. We want to be number one in every positional group as we're paying these guys. Is that what this shit is? It makes you wonder, right? I hope it's not that, because that would just be completely stupid. But the way that they drag these contracts on is really crazy. So if you look at this here, you're looking at the current high paid contracts for edge rushers, defensive ends, outside linebackers. Obviously at the top here, Nick Bosa, and you have Myles Garrett, actually the highest paid right now. About $40 million a year. All right, so for a non-quarterback position, that's very high. Jamar Chase actually also as well. He signed a huge contract. He's in that upper echelon as one of the highest paid non-quarterback positions. He is also getting $40 million. So, you're thinking about where's Micah's contract going to end up at? You know what I mean? Is he a long-term player for the Cowboys? How much do you pay a player of this caliber? He's definitely up there, man. If you just look at his numbers here, right? This is what he has. 52.5 sacks through 4 years, right? That's pretty good. Look at DeMarcus Ware, okay? You look at DeMarcus Ware's contract. Look at his statistics here as a Dallas Cowboys edge rusher. In 4 years, he had 53.5. So that's just one sack above Micah Parsons. So similar production. And if you look at Ware's production here, it picked up. It stayed consistent. I mean, he had huge sack seasons here for the Cowboys. You know what I mean? So if you're projecting that type of player that he'll give you these types of numbers, the Jones family, they're going to pay Micah Parsons big money. So, Micah right now is I think he is right now at 25, 26 years old, something like that. I think he's got one more contract for the Cowboys, probably looking at a 5-year deal. You know what I mean? And his agent is going to want to get him paid the highest amount of money. Record breaking is what we're hearing here all over the place. So, You know, I think it's going to be significantly higher than what Myles Garrett is getting. You know, Myles Garrett is getting 40. You know, and the way that the Cowboys go dragging this thing on. You know, what if somebody else gets an extension? You know what I mean? I mean, T.J. Watt could get an extension, but he's already kind of getting long in the tooth. I don't expect him to be getting huge numbers like that. He might get like a Danielle Hunter type of deal, you know, like a $38 million extent. Maybe he will get like a 40 million, but I don't see him getting you know, above what Myles Garrett's getting. So he'll be in there, but I think Micah Parsons and his agent, you know, they're going to push this number high. It's going to balloon up, and the way the Cowboys operate and drag it on, it could be in the upwards of 50 million a year. Like, oh no, it won't be. I projected pretty closely a lot of these contracts, you know, with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, and I was always told, oh, that number's too high or this and that. Even at one point, I had a high number, and people were complaining about Dak Prescott, and it ballooned huge. It went over my expectations. So, you know, I'm thinking that this thing's going to go to 50 million. You know, honestly, I could see that happening easily. 50 million per year annual rate. Guaranteed money's going to be through the roof. You know, but maybe if 50 is the high number from the agent and the Joneses, maybe they negotiate that to, you know, 45, 46, somewhere like that. But it is going to be a huge number. All right. So, guys, let me know, what do you think the final number will be for Micah Parsons' contract? Do you think he's going to get right there at $40 million like Myles Garrett, or is it going to go 42 per year, 45, 50 million? You know what I mean? I would not be surprised if this thing hits 50 million a year, right? Guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments. When does Micah Parsons get signed? Is it going to be here like they always do in training camp? I think that's what's going to happen, honestly. So we're a few months away from still getting that news, but as this drags on, that number balloons up, and that's why I'm saying it's going to be probably close to, or if not, 50 million per year. Guys, let me know what you think. See you for the next one. Peace.
Yeah, old school, baby.